Welcome everybody to NBBA First Take Episode 7. I'm your host Nabil.
Yeah, I'm Brody.
And yeah, let's just get into the episode.
We've got lots to talk about today. There's been 2 playoff games, and this would look a lot different if certain results happened today. There would be the Cancun in the background, it would be in Cancun, but nothing really happened today. There was a pretty good game. Where do you want to start off? Game 1 or game 2?
Well, we'll talk about game 1 to start off with. The Foxes obviously won that one, 22 points, I believe. I think that the real challenge is the minutes, because the Roosters had to sort of fit in Tyson and Jake throughout the game, whereas the Foxes had Jed, Lockie, and Hayden were all 3 like competent players, whereas like Tyson and Jake aren't as competent as Brody and Ben. I think that the Tyson and Jake, like, no offense to them, they're more like a bottleneck to the team, sort of slowing you down and like not allowing too much to happen in those periods. So that sort of explains why the Foxes did win. What? Tell us more about the game.
In game 1, like the team didn't shoot well. Like we shot 16 from 86, which is not good at all. Well, the other players, not me, I shot 1942, but it doesn't matter. I should have shot more shots. That's what should have happened. I probably should have played more. I took a bit. I was on the bench for a bit. There is like worries about game 3 now, because it's looking like it's going to rain. So it could possibly be back at Springbank. We don't know what's going to happen yet, obviously, because the weather could change.
You did say that you weren't shooting as well. Is it because you were at the blue court compared to Springbank, or is it like, do you play better at one or the other?
Well, definitely, the Roosters definitely play better at Springbank. I haven't really heard anyone that wants to play us at Springbank. They want to just play us at the blue court because we don't play very good there.
Yeah.
That's the Chickens' main problem. They don't really want.
It's not just the Chickens' problem. It's more like pretty much everyone but the Roosters has an issue with Springbank in some way or form. It's not necessarily like the court itself. It's just that no one is really making shots on it, and you have to be pretty much spot on to get threes. If it hits the rim or anything, it's just going to bounce off, because I'm assuming it's just like it's not flexible at all, so it's not going to slide in or anything.
About game 1 also, like it was close most of the game until the last quarter where they won by like 20. We'll get to game 2. Game 2 was similar.
It was more action packed.
The Roosters were winning the whole game both times until like the third quarter, where Foxes went on that run, and obviously the Roosters went on that run into the last quarter. So
I would probably say throughout both games the Roosters were pretty dominant, and it's really that last quarter that or the last 2 quarters that decides everything. In the second game, it was pretty much tied around half time. And then it slowly became a 10-point lead, and then it just got out of control, became a 20 and a 25-point lead, and it was just a blowout at that point.
Let's talk about which result do you think was more surprising?
I'm not necessarily too surprised with the game 1, because they did have Tyson and Jake, whereas game 2 is more interesting because the expectation was it was going to be Brody and Liam, the new player. We'll get into him later. And that was the expectation from pretty much everyone. However, Ben sort of showed up last minute, and that's when everything shifted, because, Ben is going to pretty much Ben and Brody are going to carry the team basically, and are more better significantly together. So it changed, and they won.
Yeah, I think definitely. Because my team won, I think game 2 was definitely more surprising. We pretty much lost hope. Like we didn't think we were going to win today. Ben said that. I said that. I don't know about the Kirklands. They're on a plane. They were heading to Cancun.
Yeah.
I actually told the pilot to turn the plane around. So
they're going a bit early.
Yeah, they're coming back now for game 3. Hopefully Jake can score more than 0. Yeah, but I think no one was really like. Today was definitely more surprising, I think.
Yeah, everyone was looking that the Foxes were going to beat, like literally everyone. I don't think anyone else had faith that the Roosters would win in this game, because the Foxes had a full team, whereas the Roosters are playing with someone who is sort of unknown to the league, and is not too familiar with like how it pretty much works overall. So it was a good win, honestly, but you know, it was sort of a bit cheeky bringing Ben in last minute. So you can sort of interpret that how you want.
Yeah, do you think either team proved that they're better with both these wins?
Not necessarily. I mean, you could sort of argue that Roosters are better when it's Brody and Ben compared to when it's like Brody, Ben, Tyson, and Jake, or like Brody, Ben, Liam. The lineups could affect how the game is. So like Roosters could be better with a different lineup, whereas Foxes, they've sort of stayed the same about throughout the season. They've got a really consistent lineup, so I wouldn't say any team is better throughout the game, or like prove that they were better throughout the game.
Yeah, so I said earlier about game 3, so I'm guessing the Kirklands are going to play, and I told them that like they're going to get tested in the first half. Like they're going to play a bit. If they play bad, and they won't play the second half because it's a must win.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it's going to go. If one of them plays better, they'll play. If both of them play bad, they won't play. If both of them play good, they will play. That's how it works. We can't be testing our lineups in a must-win game with this whole season on the line.
For sure.
I
mean, like, how much minutes can you guarantee for the Kirklands, even if they play bad?
At least I would say minimum's 10. Obviously, they're going to get at least 10 minutes. Jake's defense in game 1 was shocking. Also his offense, pretty much everything. Hopefully he bounces back. This is like his first series after that 50-point explosion game.
Yeah.
But like hopefully, if he's one of those games, we should be pretty good. Like if he hits all his shots, then
Yeah.
Tyson can sometimes also hit his threes too. Like if everyone's on the same day, I don't think we lose.
Yeah. I can ask a question. Yeah. Have the playoffs met expectations so far?
I would say I don't think anyone was really expecting back-to-back blowouts. To be honest, I think people underestimate how much home court advantage means to a team. Obviously, it's going to mean more if Roosters are in a series because we play better at one court, and Foxes and Chickens both want to play the blue court. And also the fact about like I said, the Hunter was talking about like how important starting with the ball is at the start of the quarter, because you get all that momentum, and like if you make the first shot of the quarter, that's heaps of momentum if it's a close game. Do you reckon it's gone up to expectations?
Yeah, I think that the playoffs have. I mean, the expectation was sort of that the Roosters would be more dominant in the playoffs, but I mean, the tricky lineups and all of that have sort of affected their overall gameplay. The Foxes, they're again like more consistent in their play style, so you're either expecting them to sort of like they've been sort of scoring pretty consistently throughout both games. It's really just about getting a lead in the third and fourth quarter. So yeah, I was probably expecting the Roosters to be better, but the Foxes are also doing pretty well, even if they have lost the second game. It was still quite close up to the third quarter. So, you know, it's really just about, you know, getting to the end, getting to the finish line in the third quarter, rather than letting the gap get out of control.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of expected like this obviously to be like the closest series. Like, I think Hunter was saying that the league is very interesting right now because like the Foxes are beating the Roosters, but the Roosters are beating the Chickens by a lot, and the Chickens are beating the Foxes. So it goes like all around. So most people are saying that like the Foxes, if they do win Game 3, they're going to lose to the Chickens in the finals. But like that's not always the case. They can have like good games and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, what this does show is that the league is still. I think I go over this every episode. The league is still fair.
Yeah.
If each team is being able to counter each other, it's still fair. So it doesn't appear that any single team has like too much dominance in the league right now, which is good.
Yeah. Which team would you say would feel more confident heading into Game 3?
Again, it really depends on the lineup. So if the Kirklands and Ben are good to play, and then also Lockie and Jed are good to play as well, I think the Foxes would probably be a bit more confident based on the Roosters lineup. But if it's just gonna be Ben and you, it'd probably be you guys more confident because you guys are gonna be playing the entire game compared to them, where swapping up, and they're going to be going against much more tougher players.
Well, I definitely think the Roosters have the momentum right now.
Yeah,
Obviously,
for sure.
You win by 20 the game before you go momentum.
It's not good for morale when you
yeah.
when it blows out.
And like, obviously we haven't played an elimination game in the league before because it's the first season, and it really depends where we're playing at. I feel like Roosters will feel the most confident playing at Springbank, and Foxes will be more confident playing at the Blue Court.
Yeah, it's really the environment as well. I mean, that's a key factor that people forget to sort of consider. Some players just aren't used or like just can't adjust. And like we played tons of games at Springbank, and players like Hunter and Hayden, all of them, they can't really adjust too well to the ring specifically. So it's going to be tough.
Do you reckon is momentum real, or does it disappear when Game 3 starts?
I think it's going to probably disappear when Game 3 starts. I think on both sides, there's going to be a lot of pressure, and I think the pressure is going to get to them. Even if you have won in a blowout, it's important to consider that the Foxes, they did win in the first game. So, there's always a chance. And the Kirklands are playing, so, there's going to be a gap in the minutes. I think it's both sides are probably going to be facing the pressure.
I think momentum was a real factor in both games. Obviously, you weren't there for game 1, but Foxes went on like a 20-0 run, and the Roosters did exactly the same in game 2.
Yeah.
So definitely that momentum, not calling a timeout, you need to. Well, even if you call a timeout, they still hit it. The difference is between in the Foxes game, we didn't call a timeout when they went on the run. But in our game, they called a timeout, but it didn't stop it. So it was the right decision, but it didn't stop it. Do you reckon the Roosters are favourites? Who do you think's favourites for game 3? Who would you say? Even though we don't know the court, but just...
Again, it really depends a lot. But if I had to say, I'd probably say Roosters.
If we're playing the Blue Court, who do you think's the favourite?
Oh, Foxes for sure.
Okay.
Because what? They have 3 competent players who are all able to hit threes. Whereas, it's you and Ben, and then Tyson and Jake, you can't necessarily guarantee they'll be able to hit threes consistently. Whereas you can guarantee that Foxes, every single player can hit a 3, and if they all get heat, then you're pretty much cooked. Whereas Springbank, they're all having trouble shooting, whereas you guys have perfectly adapted to the court. So it's going to be based on the court, really, the home ground.
Who do you feel like has the most pressure on them right now?
Foxes for sure. I mean, they've talked a lot. They've gone against pretty much every team. There's been a lot of competitiveness. So you could say that the pressure is all on them, whereas the Roosters aren't necessarily too worried. They would like to, but it's not like something they're if they lose, they're not going to be crybabies about it.
Yeah, I mean, being down 1-0 means coming to game 3, we don't have much pressure because it's really there is pressure if either me or Ben don't perform, but there is
if you guys
obviously the
have a full
bench is better than
roster, if you have a full roster, there's nothing to worry about. It's really just the team's ability at that point. But if you can't guarantee a player will show up, that's when it sort of starts stressing because then you're missing a player, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, obviously the Foxes have more pressure because they're up 1-0, and they really wanted to win today, because whoever wins game 3 is playing 4 games in 9 days, and obviously there's a bit of a break now. It's like a 4-day break, but it'll take a toll on people.
That's going to be varying conditions. There's going to be a lot of different strategies and all that. That's going to be really tense. Alright, now on to our next segment when we talk about a new player who's been introduced to the recent game, game 2, Liam. How do you feel about him, his performance?
Did you see his performance coming, do you reckon?
No, it was really unexpected, to be honest. I think it's because there was a previous Liam as well who showed up for a game and he wasn't too good, so the assumption was that this Liam wouldn't be too good either. But, he's blown assumptions for sure.
I think his performance is really good. Having 22 rebound points and 28 rebounds.
Yeah.
Really controlling the glass, getting some threes.
Yeah.
His defense is pretty good. Jed kind of struggled in the second half. He played pretty well in the first half.
Yeah.
I feel like his performance is pretty good. And do you think Liam really changed the series at all?
After
that game?
I think he did significantly.
Well, obviously he's not playing game 3 because it's a fill-in.
Yeah, for sure. But that game sort of it gave the Foxes sort of a reality check. Like even without such a key player like Ben, the Roosters can still make a difference, even if it is a temporary player. Like Liam contributed a ton, and both Brody and Liam together was able to pretty much dominate at certain points of the game.
Yeah, I think Liam probably did save the Roosters season. Well, I don't know how the game would be if it was just being Ben, but
Ben is sick. Ben was sick.
Yeah, Ben was sick, so he probably did save the season by putting up a performance and forcing the game 3. What do you reckon the expectations for Ben should be in game 3?
For Ben,
do you think he's going to have the same performance he did in game 1, or do you think he's going to come out better?
Well, game 3 I believe is the Foxes' home ground.
Yeah.
So they're most likely going to play on the blue court. Now I don't know necessarily how well Ben will play on the blue court. He might adapt mid-game and start being able to push up. But it's really about the defense and the drive for Ben, and it doesn't really matter about the court in that case. So I think he'll still play really well, and I think he'll probably play better than what he did in game 1 and game 2 because game 2 was sick. So he's going to come back refreshed, and feeling much better for game 3. So I think he's going to. The expectations are quite high for him. I think he's going to play quite well.
Do you reckon Ben is the major factor in game 3? Do you reckon he needs to show up for the Roosters to win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no discussing it really. It's just if it's Brody and Tyson, Brody and Jake, then the Roosters aren't winning. That's for sure. I mean, Brody and Ben are both playmakers. They both need someone to actually do the playing as well. They can't just win off no defense and all of that. If it was Liam in the discussion, then potentially you can consider a win, but that's not happening. So no.
Yeah. How big is Liam going to be coming into next season as a major piece?
He's going to be quite a big change. I'm not over exaggerating it, but I think that having a player, because the league again, I've always said this, the league has been pretty fair. So having someone new who's pretty good is going to change the balance a bit of the game. So it really depends on what team he goes to. He does seem very keen, to some extent, on joining the league. So we're pretty happy for that to get him in. It's a matter of discussion on the cap manager side, see who really gets him. Yeah.
How impressive was it for Ben to dominate in the last quarter while playing as sick?
Very impressive, if anything. I did notice he fell over a couple of times. He was playing. He was a bit drowsy. He wasn't looking his best, but I think Brody sort of allowed him to play at his best because he gave him a lot of breaks.
Sorry, the Ducks are banging each other right now. They're finished. All right, let's go back to it.
Why did you have to say that?
Okay, anyway, we're keeping this in, by the way.
Why are we keeping this in?
It's funny, right?
I was trying to build it.
So we'll talk about Ben when he was sick.
Yeah, I think Brody did a good job as manager, being able to sort of facilitate Ben playing well while he was sick. He gave him a lot of breaks. He, always offered Ben to come off, and he was really understanding. So when Ben did come on, he got a bit of break, and he was able to come on, play his best, and then get taken off again, and then come on. And him shooting those threes in the fourth quarter, I believe, there's back-to-back threes, really sealed the game for the Foxes.
Yeah, Ben has struggled shooting the free ball this season, only shooting 20% or something. Yeah. It was good to see that game, him his shots. Which performance do you reckon tells us more about him? The game 1 where he shot terrible, 13 for 66, or the fourth quarter in game 2?
I'm not too sure, honestly. I think that again, it's really the lineup that affected his performance that game. I think so. And in that second game, he wasn't really held back by that lineup, so I think he got to play better. And he had more freedom to sort of be able to come on and come off as he pleased.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's next for the teams if they get eliminated. Let's start with Roosters.
Yeah. What do you think?
Do you think there should be any changes in the off season? Any anyone they should go for, sign?
Yeah, I mean, look, if Roosters lose, I don't think anyone would sort of complain too much if the Roosters did sign Liam as a substitute for Tyson and Jake as a third player. every team needs three people at least. So I don't think Liam would be too bad. He would sort of be able to sort of have like a more complete team because everyone sort of is more competent then in that case. Whereas Jake and Tyson aren't as competent as Brody and Ben. So it's gonna be a more like polished up and refined team. But that's like all I can really say. Because there's nothing they really need to change. It's just really the lineups and all of that are sort of bottlenecking.
Yeah, after game one, I did say changes did need to happen after this season. I think we found a player we want to target. Because obviously we were trying to find that third player because currently we only had two for the next season because we had to give two to the Vipers.
Yeah.
I think we should be able to find a decent player. We got some options of people who are like semi in the league who will play.
Yeah.
We'll just find the right player at the right time and should be good. What about the Foxes? What's happening with them if they lose here?
I couldn't tell you honestly. I'm not really too sure what plan. I haven't really hinted at too much plans, if anything, any plans at all. So I mean, do you have anything in mind, really?
Yeah, I haven't really heard much of the Foxes. I haven't really heard like anyone they're targeting or something. I know like a huge problem with the Foxes is firstly their rebounding and secondly their turnovers. They get a lot of turnovers compared to everyone else in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to tackle that if they get kicked out here. I don't think they'll make a move this season. I think season 2 is when they'll make moves if it doesn't work again.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's really about, getting comfortable in the league and, like, getting that discipline. So, who knows? Maybe next season they come back much more refined, a better chemistry and all of that. So, you never know. But from what we've heard, there's not any significant plans from the Foxes if they lose, or there's nothing that they've hinted at the moment.
Yeah, we're really, there's not much really, like, hints as to what any team's going to do in the off-season if they get eliminated. You do hear a lot from the Chickens saying if like a player plays bad, it seems to the Vipers, but that's just like a...
That's really just like jokes.
I was saying, I thought the Vipers would like... I think they'll fold. That's my personal opinion. Anyway...
I don't think the Vipers will fold.
I don't think Jake and Big Phil play enough games. I think they will just like have to be forced at folding and just like...
Yeah, but I think that the league itself won't let them fold to the point where, like, if they show up for the games and all that and they're losing, then that's different to them just not showing up at all. Like, if they show up, then like we will give them support so that they can remain a team and like sort of be able to rebuild. But if they don't show up, then that's folding. And I don't think like players like Jake are like not like lazy or anything. Like they want to play, so. I think that the Vipers will stay around for a while.
Yeah, I think that big fella dude's pretty lazy,
Yeah, big fella.
Yeah,
big fella, like Jake wants to play. Rylan wants to play.
Yeah, half the time big fella plays, he doesn't even trying, so...
Yeah. I think it's going to be different. I think we'll have to just see what happens next season. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next segment. This is going to be about the Season 2 schedule.
Yeah.
I'll let Brody run us through how it's going to look next season.
So the schedules came out. Obviously, the 4 teams, including the Vipers, we were looking at doing like 2 games at the same time, but I don't think like it's going to be hard. I don't know if you can stream on the same YouTube channel 2 times at the same time, so that might not happen. But the Roosters game will probably it'll be straight after if it doesn't happen.
Yeah. I think back-to-back games will have much more players like watching as well. So I think it'll be better even.
So round 1 we got Roosters versus Vipers.
That's gonna be interesting. Game.
Well, we don't know who's in the Roosters, but we know who's in the Vipers. That's not gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be a blowout. Obviously, Foxes versus Chickens will be heated.
Yeah.
If that's the finals, I think it'll be heated either way though. I don't think it'll change much.
Yeah.
Round 2, Roosters versus Chickens. That could be a finals rematch. We don't know. Obviously, the Vipers versus Foxes. That's gonna be a blowout. Out of these 2 games, who do you think is gonna start 2-0?
2-0?
Yeah.
It'd probably be the Chickens or the Roosters. This one.
I would say
just because I have my doubts on whether
I would say either it's a Roosters home game. Firstly, I would say it's probably Roosters. I would say, or or Foxes because they're Foxes versus Vipers too.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Foxes versus Roosters in the first 2 rounds, so it actually could be Foxes or Roosters. I'm just glazing, bro.
Yeah, you were kind of. Yeah, it wasn't really.
Nah, I didn't notice. I thought it was Roosters versus Foxes. Oh, but that's the 3rd round, I believe. So.
How do you think because obviously right now it's not really rounds, but next season is rounds.
Yeah.
How do you think it's gonna go having 2 teams playing the same round, like 2 separate teams?
I think it'd be better. It'd be probably more entertaining because rather than having to wait a week or maybe like a couple of days, you could have probably a game going back to back on the same day. Yeah, it's more entertaining. It keeps the viewer retention higher probably because people won't have to wait. They can just go to the next game, which is live as well. So yeah, I think it'd probably be better.
Let's just touch on we'll just keep talking about season 2. What team do you have surprising in season 2?
I think the Roosters are probably going to be pretty interesting. The Foxes don't have any plans for next season, so probably going to change the lineup. Chickens are likewise. Vipers are pretty bad.
Yeah.
But the Roosters, on the other hand, the Chickens and the Roosters are both looking to sign someone next season. So those 2 teams are probably the most going to be interesting next season because it really depends on who we both sign. If we sign, who knows, we really sign a really good player and or like a bad player. You never know.
I feel like the Roosters, like we had a bad season, so I feel like we could peak. I think because I said earlier, if we peak right now, that's a great time to peak in the playoffs. I think next season if we get a couple of signings and change it up, I feel like could be a first place. But
yeah, I mean I'm looking forward to next season. It's gonna be a big change having an extra team.
Yeah, the Vipers.
Both Roosters and Chickens are losing players from this new team, so we'll have to recruit some new players into the league now. But there are some promising talent that we're scouting, so hopefully we can introduce them into the league.
So obviously there's only 6 rounds next season, yeah. So that means the last round matchup will be Roosters, Foxes, Chickens, Vipers.
Yeah.
That is pretty good for the Chickens versus the Vipers in the last game.
Yeah.
Just in case they need a win to get first place or something like that. Just to get that pretty much almost confirmed win. But Roosters versus Foxes in round 6 could be interesting.
Heated, very heated.
It could be interesting to see what happens, and it's looking interesting, honestly.
Now the question is about Vipers. What could we as the NBBA league do to prevent stat patterns? Because people are obviously gonna. The Vipers are a very, very vulnerable team coming into next season. So, you never know. What can we do to sort of prevent? We don't want the Vipers to just instantly want to quit because they're just getting destroyed. We want to do something to keep them in. So, what are you thinking?
Obviously, the Vipers they're not a confirmed team yet. By the way, next season 2 starts in August maybe because there's going to be a bunch of preseason games. And solo season 12 is going to start back up again, and we're going to do that with July in the winter.
Yeah.
They're not a fully confirmed team yet because there's going to be preseason games to see how they play.
Yeah.
If we have to put in block rules or steel rules, we have to put in something to make it won't make it fair, but make it more durable.
Yeah, that's what is most likely to happen if the Vipers are struggling in the preseason test games. Most likely there'll be blocking rules, limiting the opposing team 1 or 2 blocks a quarter, or 1 or 2 blocks per player, and then also 1 or 2 steals per quarter. That could be for players or the entire quarter itself. It'll keep the game more interesting, I guess, because it at least gives them a chance to score and be able to sort of challenge. Whereas if it's just blocking every single one, players like Rylan and Jake are pretty small players, so they're gonna get blocked quite easily. So I think that'd be good.
Do you think we'll talk about the doubleheader again? Do you think it's the perfect way to start the season?
Yeah.
Start a new season?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think having all the games in one day is the perfect way to start the season.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is an all-star game every season. Yeah. So we already talked about this in a different episode, but this one's invite only, so whoever's playing the best will get picked. It'll be after round 4, I think. So.
Oh, but there's already predictions on who will be all-star.
I think there's a main 4 players that will make it, and then the last couple of picks will be
interesting.
Yeah, interesting to see who gets picked. Obviously the selections for the other events will be different on the best 3-point shooting percentages will
Yeah.
be the 3-point contest and stuff like that. Yeah. Do you think there's any like storylines that they built up in the first game of the season? Like you know the schedule, but like, do you think there'll be any storylines?
Not really. I think that the existing, if you're talking about storylines in relation to like history, I think there's probably gonna be a better history with like foxes versus chickens or foxes versus roosters because there's a lot of like tension between them. But it also just like depends on how this season's gonna be. Like if like chickens beat foxes or like roosters beat chickens, it's gonna be a different storyline next season with like how teams like really see each other.
Alright, let's hop into the next segment. The future of the playoffs. So this is the proposed format for season 2.
Yeah.
1 versus 2, first to 2 wins. 3 versus 4, first to 2 wins. The loser of the 1 versus 2 gets a second chance and they verse the winner out of 3 versus 4.
I think it's an interesting proposition.
I think it makes the first and second seed more valuable because you get a second chance.
Yeah, for sure. Whereas like, you know, if you know you're going to only get the second seed, you may as well just not try.
No, it's still good to try.
And just like this season, like you may as well just not try because you're always going to end up in the playoffs anyways, and there's no value of having the second or third seed anyways. So
yeah, I feel like the highest seeds need more value. We've definitely like I said earlier, people didn't like think there was much of a home court advantage, but
I mean,
is.
you just you didn't really play in the last game. You or Ben. It was just Tyson and Jake, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. Oh, in the last game of the season. No, the last game of the season didn't happen.
Oh yeah, because
it was a forfeit because both didn't shot.
Yeah, because
yeah. Anyway,
we can talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think about this format?
I think it'll be it'll probably put more like encourage players to like not give up after the first seed's taken, and like keep going, keep the games more interesting. So yeah, I think it's a good proposition.
So obviously the higher seed advantages is they get the opening possession for every quarter.
Yeah.
They get the first choice of when they want to warm up.
Yeah.
And the choice of the ball, and obviously the court too.
Yeah, the court.
So
Too. The court is a big one.
Yeah, the court is a big one too. Do you think this season, the regular season, mattered enough?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it all leads up to what seed you're going to get, and then from there, you know, being able to go against your opponents and see how they are, what strategies they're using is really important. So I think the season is still going to be as important as it currently is. So, yeah.
Do you think this format's better than the new one?
I think the new one's is important. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first seed probably is a bit less valuable now because before they go straight to the finals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's pretty valuable right now. Yeah, so let's go into really early season 2 predictions. Alright.
Okay.
We're not even in season 2 yet. Who's the champion? Don't be biased. Who think's gonna win it?
Well, if the Roosters manage to get Liam, Roosters. If the Chickens manage to get Liam, it could be Chickens potentially.
Yeah.
It could also be the Foxes as well. You never know. They're still there, dangerous. So you never know. Potentially, runner-up, Foxes, Chickens. If the Roosters, I think everyone is running. I think everyone has an equal chance. Vipers are going to be the underdogs pretty much the entire season. That's only fair since it's the first season starting out.
Yeah. So who do you think do you think any teams will have a collapse after the playoffs, play a bad season, and then think about changing things up? Like we talked about
Foxes.
Yeah,
I think Foxes would do that because Foxes aren't making any significant changes or are planning to make any significant changes following the end of this end of the playoffs. I think change is important, even if you don't think there needs to be change. Being able to adapt and shift up the strategy, because the Chickens and Roosters are always changing, and the Foxes need to be able to keep up with the change, even if they aren't, gaining players or anything like that.
Yeah, I feel like in the NBBA having the same roster the whole time, teams people will figure out how to beat you.
Yeah.
And now Foxes did win by 20 last game, but it could be happening now. I don't know. We don't know what's happening, but because this is early predictions. But I think MVP will definitely be closer because the Chickens will have a full team. So We don't know who's going to make the jump. If you have a prediction, who can make a jump for MVP?
MVP?
That wasn't who. Pick someone who make a jump that wasn't in the convo. So not me or Hunter.
Could be Hayden.
You think
Hayden could be. Yeah, we could put Hayden into MVP question. Also, potentially like Jed. Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. And then also it could be Cooper.
Yeah,
Cooper as well. You know, they're all like all-round players. Like Cooper for defensive player of the year for sure. I can, like Cooper or Ben, you even, and then on from the Foxes potentially Hayden as well. Defensive player of the year. They're all like looking to it. So
Yeah, I feel like a most improved player and a breakout player next season would be like probably both Roland. Like,
it could be Rylan. I think
he's on the Vipers by himself.
He's getting a chance now.
So if the Vipers do get allowed through in the preseason, like if they're not losing by 80 every game, they're not going to let through. The same.
Yeah.
Like if they don't get let through, the Chickens are actually all the players are just going to free agency.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much they pick where they go.
Yeah.
So I don't
Most
know.
of them will probably return back to their
Yeah,
original
I don't know.
That's usually what
Someone's going to pick up
prediction is.
Tyson. I think honestly, if Tyson gets put in free agency, I think Fox will just pick him up
Yeah.
because they have heaps of money, so they can as well.
Yeah.
Unless-
We'll probably take back Ryland if that's the case.
Yeah, if
and then
Ron
you'll
wants to go
probably
back
take-
there, you can.
Yeah.
Ron has talked about him not liking the Chickens recently, but like,
Yeah, but he would probably just come back here anyways.
yeah.
Just because it is comfortable at the Chickens.
So, okay, how much pressure do you think is like on the Foxes if they like don't do anything this season, next season?
Like in terms of making any changes.
Like, no, how much pressure is on them to start next season if they lose game 3 to perform? Because obviously they're probably going to change things around. Like
Yeah,
season
for
3.
sure. I think that there's not going to be too much pressure. I think the gap between the end of the playoffs and then the start of the next season will give them a lot of time to reflect on what the mistakes were and like be able to adapt and make the changes. So I think if anything, they would come into the season more refreshed, and maybe even like more eager to play. You know, using the loss as motivation to keep going, sort of. So you never know, really. Fox is a very unpredictable team for sure.
Alright, that's episode 7 of NBBA First Take. We've got game 4 on the way, a new season around the corner, and plenty more NBA action to come. We'll see you next time.